Christmas presents don't need to be expensive, but they should come from the heart. And what better gift than something you've made yourself with love? The crafty Minx herself, Kelly Doust, joins us now to create some joy in the hip pocket while still giving generously. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Hello. Lovely to have you in.
Thanks for having me on the show.
This is such a great idea, but you're doomed if you don't have a creative bone in your body. Don't touch it.
Well, that's not true. The whole point of the book is that it's for people that have no crafting skills whatsoever. I come from a background of no craft. I started sort of altering dresses that I bought in charity stores when I was about 15.
What, just because you were short of dough?
Yeah.
At the time?
I couldn't afford to buy the clothes that I wanted, so I would go into a charity store with my latest issue of Dolly in hand, and I would chop off
Thank
the
heavens
skirts.
for Dolly.
And yeah, I'd chop off the sleeves, I'd chop off the skirts, and then I didn't do any crafting for years. And then my husband and I bought our first home, and...
You're broke again.
We're broke again, with the mortgage taking up all the disposable income. So we started making things, and we made things for friends and for their children, because we realised that actually we spent a lot of money on gifts, and people just really loved it.
So you seriously reckon that I could knit something like that and put something like that together?
Wow.
The thing is, you don't need to knit it. It's an old jumper that's been just chopped up. It takes about maybe 2 hours to construct. I made it at night, sitting in front of the telly, just, you know, to keep my hands busy.
It's a bit rude, really, isn't it?
What?
Oh, I see, it's a tail.
Yes, it's a tail.
Well, it's just the way you're holding it, it just looked a bit rude.
What happened to you?
What?
Overnight.
It's the red dress and the hair.
He might not be anatomically correct, but, you know, I did my best.
You know, you were mentioning jumpers and things, and I found out in the break, these were actually the sleeves of a jumper, is that right? So that's
They were.
That was the sleeve, and then what you've done is you've just shaped it, is that right?
Yeah, I just chopped off the sleeve and sort of shaped it in the size of, well, for a small child, for a mitten.
Yeah.
And then just sewed around the outside. So it's just a chopped up jumper, so no knitting involved.
Really clever.
And just sewn with a back stitch. A lot of this you can do by hand.
I knew there was something tricky. For the snowflake, how do you...
Well, back stitch and running stitch are pretty much my staples. That's what I know to do. That's very easy. I remember when I was writing the book, the crafts editor said to me, why don't you just say French seam? And I said, because I don't know what a French seam is. It's just stuff that I discovered through doing it myself. And a back stitch is just when you go back, and so it makes it quite strong, so it makes the seam quite strong.
Yeah.
What are we going to need if we're going to get crafty in the house?
You can pretty much do everything here. A machine helps for things like, say, a doorstop to make it...
Oh, that's a doorstop.
This is a doorstop.
So what's inside? Just sand?
Just rice and some polyfill, which is just sort of... Or you could stuff it with some scraps of fabric.
You could do sand, couldn't you?
Or you could do sand.
Extra bricky sand at home, that'll come in handy.
And where does the material come from?
Well, the material's actually from an upholsterer. I buy lots of really beautiful scraps. I mean, that's Florence Broadhurst, that's cloth fabric. And they sell them sometimes for only a couple of dollars a piece, these scraps of fabric. But normally, if you were upholstering a chair, that would be about $150 a metre. But I think
you go to the upholsterer and just get what he's throwing out?
Offcuts.
That's right, offcuts. So it's all recycled. Everything here is recycled.
Right. What about this? This is really cute.
Well, they're just bits of smaller fabric. I mean, I made a teepee out of this fabric, so this was left over.
And then you've got your little
strip. That's my Susie Homemaker retro apron.
Oh, the Stepford wife. My husband's always wanted one of those. No, that's cute. I reckon that's a really cute idea.
Or an apron?
No, he has the apron with something. You know, he's got the classic male barbecue.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I can imagine. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so you figure we don't necessarily need machines?
No, I mean you could do everything here pretty much with what I've got here. We've got some beautiful embroidery floss. This is just a lovely cotton thread.
Aren't they gorgeous colours?
Well, I love when I say a running stitch or a blanket stitch, that's when you use this beautiful thread. Just, you know, something so simple can look really pretty. Or you could pick out a child's name.
Is that a...
That's an old bed sheet that I bought from a charity store. I gave it a good wash and I just chopped it up. I just chopped the flower panel off it.
And then just stitched around it?
Just stitched around it.
And
they take, really, honestly, maybe half an hour at most. That's a little scrap of ribbon from a gift.
A little longer.
So did you put those stitches on, or was...
Yeah, I put... Oh, not the coloured stitches.
Oh,
that was the ribbon. All I did was stitch the... I tied it into a bow and then stitched the ribbon
it on.
onto the actual
Get your
singlet.
little cute little Bonds singlet and dress it up and make it really individual.
The
I think
big
it's a
thing
really
here
good
that
idea.
I'm getting the impression that the big thing here is the idea. You've got to have the idea in the first place. So where are you getting your ideas from?
Well, I guess, I mean, I don't think there's an original idea under the sun when it comes to craft. So I look in magazines all the time. I look on Etsy and...
What's Etsy?
Etsy's like eBay for craft. It's a big US
that's
site.
right.
It's a bit of a mecca for crafties.
What, Etsy.com, is it?
I think it's Etsy.com.
E-E-T-S...
ETSY.com.
Okay.
And it's basically a marketplace for people who are selling homemade things. And actually it's a great place to buy Christmas presents. And you're also supporting small, mums at home working from home with their kids.
Absolutely.
It's just a lovely thing, I think, to buy your gifts from. But I get ideas from there. I buy a lot of interiors magazines. I look at blogs from overseas. I love craft is everywhere in terms of blogs. There's people blogging. In fact,
it seems to be the latest trend that there's a real sort of push back to that handmade stuff and handmade quilt covers and cushions and, the soft furnishings seem to be much more hand-created rather than, mass-produced.
Well, I think the nice thing is as well that there's lots of younger people coming back to craft because sort of my generation, I guess, the majority of people that are my age probably didn't get taught how to make things when they were younger. One of the sort of side effects, I guess, of the feminist revolution, which was great, but it just means that there's a whole generation of women that never learnt to do these sort of domestic skills.
And blokes, you could do this, Big Dave. I could see you sitting down there cross-stitching gently. Or perhaps not. Thank you. It looks so good to meet you. The book is called The Crafty Minx. It's full of lots of great ideas.
It's a lovely book.
Yeah,
Congratulations
really well done.
on the book.
Thank
Good
you.
on you.
Thank you.
All right, and you'll find more about the tips for reinventing on the website. Here's Marianne.